Hi everyone, this is Dr. Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Folks, in this video, I'll tell you everything you need to know about the $400 a week unemployment booster which has been proposed as part of the American Rescue Plan, the $1.9 trillion massive package from President Biden, and also some of the changes that have actually occurred in it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Chhoda. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. Let's get started. The original proposal of the American Rescue Plan was to provide a $400 a week boost all the way through September. Now, as you probably know, the 14th of March is when the current $300 a week boost ends and several programs actually end. So again, under President Biden's original proposal, the boost would go up from $300 a week to $400 a week up to September. Now, keep in mind, this boost is on top of state unemployment benefits. Now, folks, what's interesting is the proposal from the House Ways and Means Committee suggests that the $400 a week only be made available through the 29th of August. Yes, you heard that right. 1 month less than the proposal from President Biden. In fact, let's show you the website of the House Ways and Means Committee with Chairman Richard O'Neill. And the headline reads, Chairman Neal announces markup of COVID-19 relief measures, the Ways and Means proposal, which essentially tries to introduce the $400 a week unemployment booster as part of the plan. Remember, this was originally a plan. It was originally a package. We have to have a plan or a package that then becomes a bill. And then when that bill is signed by the president, that's when it becomes law. So you have a plan, then you have a bill, then you have a law. Right now, we are in the stage where the bill is actually being created. Let's go back to the screen, the website of the House Ways and Means Committee. As you can see, they are starting to draft the bill, draft the actual piece of legislation, which when signed by the president becomes law. Now, House Speaker Pelosi did say earlier today that she does expect President Biden to sign this bill before the 14th of March when the current unemployment benefits are expected to expire. So that is an encouraging sign. So folks, what's the problem with the August extension as opposed to the September extension? It's going to affect the most vulnerable amongst us. Individuals in travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality have lost their jobs in many cases permanently. The labor force participation rate, which essentially measures how many people actually trying to get employed, has reduced because people are dropping out of the workforce. It hasn't been this bad since 1948. Let's take a look at this article on your screen from Chad Stone, who's the chief economist at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. And he writes that the relief package includes important unemployment benefit extensions, but the duration should be extended. Why is it ending on the 29th of August when it should have been extended up until September as per President Biden's plan? Now, this is what Stone writes, and I'm quoting from the article. By the way, I'll provide you with the link to this article as well as all our resources in the description section below, so check it out. Stone writes, in the UI legislation before Ways and Means, the end of August cutoff date for the benefits in question is very problematic compared with the end of September in President Biden's plan. Unemployment, particularly among workers of color and workers without college degrees, will likely remain elevated in the fall. In addition, extending benefits an additional month better aligns their expiration with the time when Congress will be in session and focused on budget matters with the fiscal year ending on the 30th of September, and thus well positioned, if necessary, to further extend benefits. By contrast, Congress is typically not in session at the end of August, and this is very important, folks. So the August timing makes the likelihood of a benefit lapse very likely, which is harmful to families and disruptive to states' abilities to administer unemployment benefits. We know what happened in the end of July 2020 when the $600 a week expired. Congress was not in session in August and all the shenanigans, all the back and forth happened, and many people were left without the booster for months. What Stone is saying is we might have a repeat of the same situation in August of 2021 if the need to further extend unemployment benefits is necessary at that time, if many of us are still struggling. So folks, I want our viewers and subscribers to understand that if all of these programs, which are basically federal programs, end at the end of August, this is going to lead to a chain reaction of events. Well, first of all, individuals who are on the PUA program and the PEUC program, which are both, by the way, federal programs, they are not state benefit programs, will lose all their aid, will lose all unemployment benefits. They'll get nothing at all. And then those who are on regular state unemployment benefits, if they're eligible, will start getting extended benefits from the states if they're eligible. So basically, they would lose access, even though they would get state unemployment benefits, they would lose access to the $400 a week booster. And then individuals, like I mentioned, who are on the PUA program and the PEUC program, which again are federal programs, will get nothing, not the basic benefit and not the $400 a week booster. So that is what's going to happen once the booster goes away. Now, folks, let me be clear, all is not lost. There are certain lawmakers, including Ron Wyden, who's a Democrat from Oregon, who's going to be writing the Senate version of this bill. Remember, this is the House version of the bill. It's interesting that they would end it in August as opposed to September, but this bill could see amendments, could see a rewritten version once it makes its way through the Senate. And Ron Wyden has already expressed his intention to preserve benefits until the end of September. So that is an encouraging sign. In fact, let's show you a tweet on your screen from Senator Ron Wyden, the Democrat from Oregon. He wrote, "Congress doesn't have to choose between providing income for jobless workers and direct checks. Democrats can and must do both." And Jeff Stein from the Washington Post quotes Ron Wyden, who's pushing back against cutting unemployment benefits by 1 month. Here's a comment from Ron Wyden, and this is on Jeff's Twitter feed. We'll show you the comments. The Ron Wyden starts by saying, "I'm pleased to see the income thresholds for relief payments are preserved." And then he does talk about, he says, "I also want to preserve 6 months of jobless benefits," which, by the way, would mean going from the 14th of March all the way through to September. And he says, "I'm going to work to find a resolution that preserves both relief payments and jobless benefits." Relief checks and jobless benefits are the most tangible parts of the economic relief package for those struggling to make ends meet. They play a critical role in ensuring families could pay rent and buy groceries and are strongly supported by the American people. We can do both. And folks, it's very clear that President Biden supports a plan. On your screen, we'll show you President Biden's campaign website, which reads highlights of Joe Biden's plans to support women during the COVID-19 crisis. Now, what I find really interesting, and by the way, I did read this entire page because I'm a nerd. What I find really interesting is this section on the website where President Biden's campaign website says, Biden would create a Banks Defense Production Act to make sure the banks that work with states prioritize and deliver unemployment benefits quickly and require the use of electronic payments and prepaid debit cards to deliver direct cash relief fast. Now, folks, this is the important part. You ready? Families shouldn't have to wait for President Trump to sign a check. Biden would also work with Congress to extend the boosted unemployment benefits, the extra $600 for however long this crisis lasts. Interesting. President Biden, as a candidate, said $600 a week. He also said it'll be for however long this crisis lasts. But what are we getting from the Democratic House Ways and Means Committee? Let's go back to the page of the House Ways and Means Committee with Chairman Richard O'Neill. We're getting $400 a week through the end of August. Very, very interesting, the difference between what then candidate for President Biden said and between now the Democrats, the House Ways and Means Committee led by the Democrats, now, what they're saying now, they're talking about $400 a week and they're talking about ending it on the 29th of August. And while all this is happening, House Speaker Pelosi has said that she wants President Biden to absolutely sign this bill into law before the March 14 deadline. So folks, that's what's happening about the $400 a week benefit. I believe that the $400 a week will extend until the end of September. But again, the contrast with what then candidate Biden said and what's happening now is something that no one really is shining a light on, which is why I wanted to point it out to you. To be honest, I'm surprised that the Biden campaign has not changed that portion of their website, because when someone looks at that, they'll be like, hey, that was a campaign promise. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I appreciate you watching. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. That would mean a lot to me personally, and that helps out the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.